live.
Boom.
And I have no idea if this is actually
and
working.
In living color, private chat. I don't know. Anyone?
Public.
Hello out there. Let's see.
It's at 0 and it might stay at 0. I have no idea if this is actually working. Boom. Yeah. Okay. So there's a post notification on there. Wow. What a terrible thumbnail that is.
Thorgan. Dang. I'm not seeing it.
Oh, there we go.
We're getting some people?
Yeah, we got one. It's hard boil.
Oh,
I guess that's all we need. In the end,
that's it. All right, 6. All right,
5.
Let's do 6.
Oh, wait, went down? Oh, cool. Thank God they're still alive. Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of the point of this. If you can see the title, we need to post content live stream. You guys separated, you guys fighting?
No, just lazy. We're about 10 minutes away from each other, driving distance, and we're like, fuck it. Here we are.
Oh, seriously?
I mean, I'm like 4 hours away.
Oh, geez, film God. I recorded a video today and found out the mic wasn't on. Isn't that lovely?
That's the worst.
Or then you just find out the software just like fudged from the very start.
Yep, we've had that happen. We've had quite a few.
And the whole time you didn't even know, or it was like freezing up. Yeah. So then your audio is drastically different than the audio that you thought you recorded.
Glitching. Yeah, it's awesome.
So we're finally here. We got some content there. It has been one hell of a 3 weeks from myself. And I know Shane is always busy. I mean, just look at him. He looks like an old lab.
I look weathered. I'm 32 and I got a bunch of gray in my beard. And
have you ever seen like an old Labrador? Like they got that look and stuff, like the gray little thing. Right there.
That's exactly how I feel. Just beaten and weathered and chugging along somehow.
Yes, Fury, you're correct. About 165 miles. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Give or take a couple minutes or so.
That's creepy. How'd you know that?
Yeah. Everybody loves that goddamn number. Fucking hate. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher the hell out of your name if I even try to say it. But wow, the Snyder Cut. Oh damn, thing moved on me. Wow, the Snyder Cut video you guys made have over 40,000 views. Yeah, we're just as shocked as you are on that one.
Yeah. It's helped. It's brought a lot of people to our channel, and then we didn't post anything after that. So
yeah,
okay, I subscribed for nothing.
Done deal. We made a video. It got like over double digits. We're good. We are done. Yeah, it's doing well. And now I like listened to it accidentally recently, and I just critiqued the shit out of it. I'm like, God damn, I should have done this so much better. Fucking so, yeah, kind of sucks. But we're actually trying something a little different here. We're on StreamYard on the YouTube, side by side here. We're side by side. You're seeing these ugly faces.
You're welcome. Yes. Yeah. You can see the difference between Matt's office and my office / my wife's office. Matt's is very manly. He's got a lot of cool things up, and then my wife refused. I got the one Batman picture. I don't know if you can see that back there. It's pretty cool. But then everything else is hers.
You got natural lighting. I got a dude that has a lime green house behind me, so I can't get this closed.
Right.
All kinds of ugly shit around me, and a nice yellow light. You know, I'm fucking fuck LED. Anyway, so well, this is what we're trying to do: post content. We figured it's going to be a little bit longer actually before we can really post a video because things have just become so much chaos anyway. So we recorded a boys episode. Fuck, I don't even know when.
It's all kind of blurring together, but I believe it was at the beginning of this last week.
Like that.
Last Sunday, maybe. It's the fall time. About September, October, Matt and I will kind of drop off and we'll struggle here and there with getting content up. But it seems like the fall has just shifted a little bit, and it's been like started in August, end of July, August, and that's all just kind of been a blur. And now we're middle of August already. Damn.
Yeah.
And and we're struggling. And Matt does most of the behind the scenes work. So when he's busy, then we're really fucked.
And normally I am busy, but now it's just even worse. So I haven't even really been able to even touch the boys video that we recorded. So unfortunately, that's kind of where we're sitting at this point. Shadow Vessel BVS commentary was my first CMM video. Wow, that's the worst one because I unplugged the fucking mic and jacked the whole thing up. So you just like, oh, look at these dumbasses.
Look at these idiots. All right, subscribe.
Then,
thank you, Shadow Vessel. We appreciate it.
Part 2. We have a part 2 of a fucking one video. Thoughts on one. Film Gob says your thoughts on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've seen it. I don't know if Shane has.
I haven't yet. No.
Yeah, but watching Lion King.
Yeah,
giving Disney all that money.
Yep, exactly. I'm making time for that.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I won't go into too much spoilers because I'm sure some people still haven't seen it yet. But it's a truly. See, this is the thing. You become so deluded from the movies that we have now, like all this crap that comes out, and then you get a movie like this, and I just loved it because it just had so much personality in it. And whether or not it's even a good movie or not is obviously subjective, but at the same time, I just appreciated everything about it. Even where some people felt like, you know, there's so much time taken up by them just driving around old LA. That's it. That's all it does. And it's like the music playing, and you know, Quentin Tarantino just sits you in the car like you're in there, and you're just riding along with Brad Pitt or anybody else. And that's a lot of the movie sometimes. That's what's so funny. And I just truly enjoyed it. 2 hours and 40 minutes. And of course, the Quentin Tarantino like twist that he always has in these kind of semi based in real world movies he does, phenomenal. I mean, you couldn't love. Plus, I love the fact that throughout the whole thing, it's like fucking hippies and they're yelling at hippies all the time and shit. That shit made me laugh. So we're actually going to try our best to answer questions.
Yeah, exactly.
We're usually really terrible in live streams, but this is a Q&A for the most part. Ask us anything you want. Fuck, I don't give a shit. We'll tell you the most weirdest shit that's ever happened to us if you want.
To kind of tell you how great my brain works, I really do not remember doing a Justice League commentary. But apparently we did. And Fury of Firestorm says we were drunk 10 minutes into it. Yeah, that explains why I do not remember doing a Justice League commentary. I'm like, fuck no, why would we do that? Oh,
I know. I got a little buzz because I remember I brought in like 5 beers to make it through at 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I remember that with Avengers. Which one did we do? Not Endgame. The one before that. Infinity War. We did Infinity War, and I had a bunch of beers to get through it, and then I had to piss midway through, and I'm like, fuck it. I've seen this bullshit, and then left, came back, and people were like, you better not do that during the Snyder Cut.
Oh, Hardboiled Entertainment's going to start up his own YouTube channel. Everybody thinks they can do this shit now. God, pish posh. No,
well, if Trailer Trash can do it, anyone can do it. Bam.
There you go. High quality to this. You see this? There we go. You see all this high quality shit right here? Just random shit posted up and stuff. This camera I'm using right now, this high quality shit, $35. I hope you can muster that.
Bam. Yes, exactly. we make it work. Any hope for a new live commentary soon? We've thrown around a couple different things. When we revisited Batman 89, we talked about maybe trying to do that, and then the weekends have just kind of gotten away from us. We've also talked about really a lot of other Batman movies. I remember we've thrown around Batman and Robin, possibly doing Batman Forever. I don't know, a couple different things. So we have some plans to do some stuff. Just kind of depends. We have some important things. The long awaited Snyder video that have been trying to put together for a long time. We're trying to coordinate.
Oh yeah, the Snyder
yeah, the Snyder.
I was like, what Snyder video?
Yeah. And then we're also trying to coordinate a podcast. We're back on SoundCloud now. If you did not know that, not back.
Well, we were. I was about to say we never were on.
We are on SoundCloud. We are back in the podcast world. It's audio. Mainly going to be the audio to our YouTube stuff, so it's easier for people to listen to. So we threw up kind of a classic one for you for now, just to kind of be like, here we are, and. Yeah.
We'll just tell you what our technically our kickoff guest will be for any of the OG listeners that are in here or that have listened to us for a while. We could only think of one guest to have to kick off the Comic Movie Marks podcast again on SoundCloud, and that is our friend Nick, the Marvel fanboy himself. He's going to come on. He's just really busy as well, just like us, and so we had to schedule it into like September. and that will be our guest. And we're going to ask him all kinds of questions: what he thought about Endgame, what he thinks of the Snyder Cut, for the most part. Because Shane might have talked to him about it a little bit, but briefly. So he doesn't really know much. So we're going to kind of get an honest look.
I was gonna kind of leave that, but that's what he said. He's like, I honestly don't know much about the Snyder Cut. I'll do a little bit of research. He knows. He is the epitome of kind of the general audience when it comes to the Snyder Cut. As you know, much of my coworkers are, where they barely know that movie was actually completed by someone else. Snyder's name was on it, which now I'm more frustrated with that, as opposed to, you know, them like using Joss Whedon's name a little bit more. I actually wish they would have done that, because a lot of people are looking at like, oh, you like Zack Snyder? Justice League was horrible. And fortunately, that's what they're going to. But unfortunately, I'm like, that's not even his fucking movie. So then I have to go into this explanation, and as opposed to, you know, if it was directed by Snyder and Joss Whedon, maybe initially I would have been frustrated with giving Joss Whedon any credit, but it actually would have made more sense. And for people who don't understand kind of all the behind the scenes stuff, now they're looking at it as Justice League was horrible, which I guess that distracted from all the BVS naysayers. So I guess that's a positive.
Kevin here asked, did you listen to the Shalon on Batman podcast, where Mark Hughes specifically states the completion at 92 to 95% of a cut of Snyder's Justice League? It would explain why Snyder said minor VFX to some. This is another video that we're going to try to squeak out someday, but we can definitely talk about it for sure. Mark Hughes, to me, I find to be fascinating. Something that I think people, I don't know, I don't want to say should appreciate more, but we got a guy, a blogger, whatever you want to call him, whether you like him or not, because I've seen him say some stupid shit too. And he's not like my best friend or something, but, you know, maybe he could be. But anyway, it's just, he literally did a 180. He did a 180 on the whole situation. He apologized, saying he was misinformed. His information was incomplete. You know, that word gets used a lot. And and it was it's like, wow, there you go. One of the main aspects to this whole thing is you're changing minds.
Yeah.
And as I posted on our Twitter, there's obviously a kind of key ingredient to this, where Jay Oliva posted not too long before he announced his turn that they're working together. I can't imagine why he changed his mind 2 weeks later after Jay Oliva announces they're working together. What does that mean? That means his information very likely is coming from Jay Oliva. And a lot of people are scoffing at it, like, because it's not exactly the narrative that they want to hear. And it just blows me away. It blows me away. I'm not saying we have to believe everything he's saying, but this is some information that could have some validity behind it. And who knows what he's got. He said he's seen stuff. There was stuff he heard and seen that proved to him about what the state of a cut of Justice League, a Snyder cut of Justice League is. He's seen something. That means somebody showed him something that was very definitive of Zack Snyder's cut. And no one's asked what it was. Everybody's just like, oh, you're an idiot. You're an enemy. What? No, ask. I want to know. I should ask, I guess. But it just blew me away. No one cared. They just scoffed at it. Nothing. And I'm just like, wow, this guy has important information. And now everybody pissed him off because he used 2 hours and 45 minutes and someone broke it down to 165 or something. And
oh my gosh, yeah. It's so I've actually started to separate myself a little bit more from the Snyder Cut unless something huge comes out. I'm keeping up with it loosely, but I've seen way too much of that stuff. And to Matt's point, we have someone now who has apologized, who has changed their mind, and we just kind of shit all over it. Like, people are like, "Oh no, you weren't with us from the beginning," and it's a little frustrating. You kind of like shake your head, like, guys, you know, this is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting to convince people. And you know, we should be bringing him along, and then all of a sudden the 165 comes out of nowhere, and
join us in the sun, just like it's
exactly.
Yeah.
And I just shake my head, like, frustrated at some people's response to someone saying, man, I was misinformed. I didn't get it. And that's what we want. We want more people kind of reassessing everything and going, maybe I was wrong from the beginning. And especially someone like Mark Hughes, who's, a blogger or whatever. He's in the media somewhat, and that's an important aspect and someone it's good to have on our side.
Yeah,
that's just kind of my opinion.
And to me, it's kind of like a no shit. I actually listened back to one of our videos right after Snyder Con, where we talked about the "it's done" comment, and I specifically said that could mean it's done, meaning he has a more theatrical friendly cut at Warner Brothers that's more complete than the others.
Yep.
I literally said that in that video without obviously any of this information. We have no sources. We're just two idiots fucking sitting here with a microphone. That's it. That's all we are. And like it just
165 miles apart.
And it just takes a little bit of, I mean, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody, but it just takes a little bit of common sense. That's all it really does. How does you just have to have a rough idea of the industry and how theatrical releases are going to work. He's not putting out a 3-hour and 30-minute version in theaters. It's just not happening. It's not happening.
That's the next point that I've seen people kind of debate one way or another. And in terms of if there is a 165 cut out there that's more complete, more readily available, one that could get released sooner, would you rather have that, or would you rather have one that is pushed off a little bit longer to get the 200 or what was it?
214.
Yeah, 214 minute.
Do I need to hold the poster up? It's the official poster, by the way.
Yeah, the 214 minute long cut. Would you wait a little bit longer? And I go back and forth on it a little bit, but people are almost shunning the fact that there is or could potentially be a more completed, more theatrical friendly version that's more readily available that could be released sooner. And they're kind of like, nope, I don't want that one. He said 214. I want 214. Who knows if, maybe we get the one version that's 165 or whatever the fuck. And then after
it's
that,
estimated, by the way. So this isn't like an exact runtime.
Yeah.
So the fact that anybody like says that it's the 165 cut, for all they fucking know, it could be the 167 cut. And that's why the number doesn't resonate with people. Like it's just
Snyder specifically. People were like, oh, see, he debunked what's 165. It could be maybe that doesn't ring a bell to him, and he's like, oh no.
Well,
maybe
the question was like written on a napkin or something, and fucking
right,
and it made no sense.
Over.
What's your favorite number, or what number do you like? 214 or 165? He's shooting a movie in New Mexico, man.
Right.
He's probably taking a shit, and he's like, what? He's sitting on the shitter, like, what's your favorite number? 214 or 165? All right, what's 165? Like there's so many aspects to it that just made no sense. It really reminded me a lot of that Eli Snyder question.
Yeah,
where it was just poor communication, and the guy's just like, yeah, great things are coming. Like just that type of response. I was just like, okay, another one of those things that got blown out of proportion. But the one thing I find that's so funny is this shows to me more than ever, the disdain that WB has for the cut in general. And I just don't see anybody talking about this. Think about this. Before March of 2019, before this poster, right there, right there, before that poster, we had no fucking clue what the cut time was. I mean, there's guesses. I've seen some people say 3 hours and 30 minutes before. I've seen there was the 2 hours and 50 minutes or whatever that was rumored on IMDb. That was kind of like a joke, really, more than anything, but people have taken it serious. We wouldn't have known. But if there is a shorter cut that is damn near complete, as Hughes said, 92 to 95% complete, that shows me that money was never an issue with WB, because we wouldn't have known the difference. We wouldn't even know the difference. So it comes down to the fact of ego. And probably also and this is a complete guess, I have no idea if this is possible, but if they did ask Snyder, like, hey, can we put a cut out? Can we put this cut out? And he probably said, if he said no, I want 214. I mean, that's a possibility that could have changed things. But unless they've contacted Snyder and that was the situation, that means they've just been holding on to a complete movie, a roughly complete movie, this whole fucking time, and pretended like it never existed. That's what fascinates me more than anything.
Yeah,
that could have been done. That could that could have just been put out. We would have really not known the difference. I mean, Snyder probably would have said something if he disagreed with it for the most part, but we wouldn't have known jack diddly shit. I mean, that's the crazy thing. They really have at least one version, more than likely, one version that's fairly completed. And that means it doesn't come down to cost, it comes down to ego. That's the thing. And that's one thing that really surprises me. All those people that said, like, oh, they're not going to spend any more money into it. Well, guess what? Before March of 2019, we didn't know any different. And there was probably very minimal amount of money to go into it. And they just refused. They absolutely refused to release that cut. So, well, unless you got more to say, I think we should just move on.
Nope. Yep. I found a pretty good comment from about, 6 minutes ago. Detective J, topic conversation, Arrow versus Superman. He's everything the Donner fans and Joss defenders want. It's freaking awful. Unlike Superman Returns, it's current and ongoing. I don't, for me, I don't stay too close to the CW stuff. I'm really interested in this crossover crazy event that they're supposed to be building up, although it has also taken on a life of itself because they're talking about Tom Welling potentially being on it, Michael Rosenbaum. They're bringing back, obviously, Brandon Routh is playing a different version of Superman. So I don't really keep up with a lot of that stuff. I did watch the initial episode of Supergirl when they had their version of Superman, and immediately I said, okay, this is for the Richard Donner fans. And if it stays out of movies, I'm okay with it. I don't want us to backtrack to that version. I like that version. As a Superman fan, I do like that version, but I also like, keeping things fresh, updated, different. And so I've just kind of, I watched a little bit of it and it's just meh to me.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to catch up on some of these comments here as well. Another comment, would you be fine with a Snyder Cut his 214 movie to 3 hours? Apparently he did whatever with BVS. Basically, whatever Snyder approves is whatever I'm going to take. At the end of the day, he's got to approve it, whatever it's shorter, longer, however it works. There's 3 cuts of Watchmen. So, and surprisingly, the one in the middle is his favorite. He doesn't really care. He likes the ultimate cut, but it's, a little over the top. And the shorter theatrical cut obviously is kind of butchered and shit. But his director's cut is the one that he prefers the most. So pretty much at the end of the day, whatever Snyder picks is what I'm down for. If they want to do a shorter version and build up to that version, I'll be down for that too. If they want to try to sell some subscriptions, we'll see. Shadow Vessel says, sorry, little high. Okay. Will the Snyder Miss be on SoundCloud? The new one, probably, if it because it is going to be a lot of more verbally. The one thing sometimes is trying to take video from YouTube and stuff and translate it into an MP3 there. It's or try to change it into audio. Sometimes some of the things just don't translate very well and stuff. So
yep, absolutely. Frank in the fandom, think it's likely that Snyder Cut will drop on HBO Max. I think it would be a fantastic opportunity. And I actually think, in my opinion, I think if there is a shorter version that's more complete, that might be the one that shows up on HBO Max. I thought it would have been on the DC Universe. I thought, what a great way to get people to jump on that. Now, the DC Universe app is, kind of up in the air in terms of where it's going to go. But I think if they have a more complete, shorter version, it might go on that. And then to kind of bump up maybe some Blu-ray sales, they might. That might be when the 214 movie comes out. Boom, here's the definitive director's cut of Justice League, essentially, on Blu-ray. So I think it could go either way, but I think it would be very smart for AT&T / WB to go that route, throw it on HBO Max. They want to get some subscribers there. So,
well, HBO Max costs more than DC Universe because I think they're going to charge like $17, which is pretty much which is pretty much the cost of like if you get a digital download. My only thing is when you start putting things behind a subscription wall, I think they're less likely to get as much exposure. That's just how I felt lately about certain things. UFC is experiencing that right now with ESPN Plus. They've put it behind a subscription wall, their pay-per-views, and then you have to buy the pay-per-view separately. And their buy rates have gone down. They've plummeted because it's behind a subscription wall now. It's not like the WWE Network where if you just get the subscription, you get the movie. But even then, like I think people inherently people are just lazy when it comes to shit like this. And if you have to do that one extra step, they're less likely to do it compared to like if I'm sitting on my ass and I just bring up Amazon Prime and I'm like, hey, look, hey, the Snyder Cut, click, enter my 5-digit passcode, boom, I have the movie. That's just so much simpler than signing up for HBO Max or anything like that. Fury of Firestorm here had I just want to see a solid 100% Snyder JL 165 or 214. A fucking man. That's what people lose. I want to see the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it matters.
Yep. No compromising. Speaking of Superman, a pity Krypton got canceled. I'm kind of wondering, talking about the streaming services and things like that, that all of these companies now are trying to find their route. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe Krypton got moved over to that. I know there have been some talks with kind of the CW shows doing the same. Eventually, then those ones are running pretty strong. I didn't personally keep up with Krypton. I lost interest pretty early on. I know they started introducing Lobo. Doomsday had showed up. A lot of cool things were happening, but for me personally, I there wasn't anything that kind of hooked me. But I could think for Krypton fans, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe it got brought over to like an HBO Max or whatever they plan on doing with their specific service,
or part of a DC universe,
exactly,
a section of DC universe,
exactly. So that would not surprise me at all if maybe they go that route. I know they had a pretty loyal following, to the point where Sci-Fi had talked about having a Lobo series. And then it's just all kind of said, nah, we're good. So I feel like there's more behind the scenes, is just my opinion, that's kind of impacted that a little bit. They maybe have changed their Sci-Fi's course into, okay, well, we're not going to continue this. So.
Fury of Firestorm said thoughts on Birds of Prey reshoots. I don't give a shit about Birds of Prey. How about that? No, seriously. In all seriousness, I actually really don't give a shit about Birds of Prey. I guess Ian McGregor as Black Mask is intriguing, but I was never a big fan of Suicide Squad, and that ensemble piece of like villains. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea for the most part. But at the end of the day, it's a comic book movie, and that's what we are, comic movie marks, and we're always going to go see those. And I'll be open minded as possible, whatever happens to it overall. But the reshoots, I don't know. I see a bunch of people, and I just, I want to follow it because you want to see if something similar is going to happen, like JL and Suicide Squad, like how Air got screwed and how Snyder got screwed, and you want to follow along to see if this, up and coming director is going to get screwed as well. But it's just, I don't know. It's really hard to believe things anymore, man. It's really, really tough to distinguish what's real and what's not anymore. It's hard to believe bloggers, but sometimes they're right. At the end of the day, they're right. And it's just a mess.
I think that's a great way to put the entire DC universe right now. It is just a mess. And I am intrigued by Birds of Prey, by Suicide Squad, even Wonder Woman 84. Definitely going to go see him. As Matt said, we are comic movie marks. But at the end of the day, right now, I'm curious where they're going to go. I'm stoked for the Joker, but also concerned at the same time that we're going to be backtracking and separating a lot of things. Or are we going to have maybe movies that are like the Joker along one side, and then you have this linear DC universe where Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and everything that Snyder had set up, maybe they all still kind of fall in the same universe. I'm not really sure. I'm also kind of frustrated that nothing has been released to say, yeah, this is exactly what we're going to do, and here's kind of our plans moving forward. So right now, anything that comes out, is Birds of Prey a standalone? Is it linked to something? Like, what are we doing with this? And where's my fucking Man of Steel 2?
Fury of Firestorm said, Shane said the Snyder Cut is 165 minutes. Get him.
I didn't know.
I'm really behind on these comments here.
Yeah,
trying to catch up, guys.
I'm trying to scroll through as well.
We need somebody, the Real Burn Productions. We need the 169 cut. God damn it! Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm probably gonna destroy your name, but Tebos Tabik Toby Tobak. You posted a couple times so far, but we've gotten much information. So much, everything gave me so much information about the SC this year. Truly, yeah, it has been a year of wow. We really have gotten a lot of information. A couple guys here, Stallone fan, and others saying, "Hey guys, so hi."
Yeah, also Stallone fan. Imagine if Air and Snyder Cuts were released together on the same Blu-ray. That would be badass. It'd be awesome. I've been really intrigued with the Air cut, and
yeah,
you know, obviously we haven't really gotten as much, but it would be awesome if maybe once they realize, there's some interest for the Snyder Cut, and maybe, you know, the Snyder Cut gets released on HBO Max or whatever the hell they plan on doing, and then all of a sudden we get an Air cut after that. I think that would change a lot, and possibly start changing some people's opinion on what the hell happened from the very beginning of this universe. Why, you know, didn't you have trust in your directors? And that's kind of where the people like us who follow it so closely, that's kind of where we're at. I'm like, you've ruined this universe before it can even get off the ground.
Hardboiled Entertainment talking about, but he put 214 on the poster. He's talking about 214. And remember, okay, if anybody ever tries to question our shit, I am the one with the official Snyder Cut circled poster here. All the pictures I ever see circulating on Twitter of a circle 214 is mine, which is just, it's crazy to see, because then some people question whether or not, like, we want the 214 cut on Twitter. Like, some people were trying to get at us about that. I'm like, wait. The poster you're using is the one that's sitting on my wall. Like, don't even try. I was the one that asked the question. I was the one that was able to, I mean, sooner or later, somebody would have figured it out, but it would have been speculation at this point. I can at least confirm Snyder's the one that told me it was the runtime of the movie. Like, so if anybody thinks anything otherwise with us, it's just asinine. It's just weird to me that people think that shit.
You should copyright your poster, Matt.
I know. I was thinking about watermarking it like crazy, man. Cabana Boat here asked, have you seen The Boys? We have, and we actually did an episode. We have it recorded. We have it recorded, I swear.
But we're going to release it when the Snyder Cut comes out.
Apparently, it's having more editing problems than the Snyder Cut. Because, Jesus, it just...
Oh, man.
This stream is for the fact that it's just been pure chaos for both of us, for the most part, in the last, 3 weeks. And this is the 1 hour of time that we could squeak in and try to get some content. And that's really why it's called, this thing is called We Need to Post Content Live Stream. That's what it is. Because we both didn't even realize the Hobbs and Shaw review was 2 weeks ago, until I didn't realize till yesterday.
Yeah. And I don't think most people did, because most people didn't watch our Hobbs and Shaw reviews. So.
Yeah, fuck it. Not many people watched Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No kidding. The long and short of it is The Boys, fucking fantastic. Way to keep the superhero genre just on its toes, changing things up a little bit. We fucking loved it. We go into more details. Also, Superman would totally whoop. The comment got removed, but Homelander. Damn, I wanted to say Ultraman. Tomato, but he will whoop his ass.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. It's like an organic tomato versus a normal, I guess, and everyone covered in pesticides and shit. That pesticide one's going to last a lot longer than the organic tomato. That's true. Because he doesn't have limitations. Superman
he also has nothing to lose. He's obviously going to let an entire. Oh well, I don't know if we should talk spoilers about The Boys. Yeah,
don't talk spoilers.
Homelander's pretty fucked up. We'll just say that.
Really? But he's got the best O-face in the game, man. Oh, that's right. We're on camera, huh? Shit.
Yeah.
Imagine Ray Porter voiced Darkseid for Krypton in season 3. I think that might be a spoiler, man. Yeah, so I'm not going to really elaborate with that one.
Do you give a damn about Suicide Squad? Not necessarily. Gonna see it anyways. Curious what James Gunn.
Suicide Squad 2?
Yeah. DT Films, do you give a damn about Suicide Squad? Might be some sort of a Guardians of the Galaxy clone, but I'm open-minded. Same here. Open-minded. I'm curious. Again, I don't know where all of this shit is going. Is it gonna Is it going to be a standalone Suicide Squad? There's been rumors that, oh, it's a reboot. No, it's a sequel. No, it's a prequel. No, we don't know. So I'm kind of frustrated with that, is that there's just so much information that we know who's going to be a part of it, but we don't know really where it's going. And keeping an open mind, curious how it goes, but at the same time, kind of frustrated. Same thing, along the lines of Birds of Prey and so on.
Stallone fan here. I'd take Birds of Prey over Eternals any day. Eternals is the most unnecessary comic book movie of all time. I would almost have to agree with that in some sense, but at the same time, my immediate reaction was Captain Marvel might be the most useless fucking thing.
Dang.
I really don't like that movie at all. And oh my God. So just quick side note, I might post this stuff on Twitter and Instagram and all our other social media, but this shows how old I am in one aspect. But on Netflix, they put the season premieres of Jeopardy on as like a a thing, like a compilation. Yeah, it's just like their season premieres and stuff. And so you can see the set change over like the last like 30 years or whatever.
Right.
And so when we're eating dinner, like classic old people, we put on the Jeopardy montage that they got on Netflix. And eventually it got to a point a little bit newer where that guy, I can't remember his name, I think it was like Ken or something, he won like 50 days in a row or something like that. He amassed a shit ton of fucking money. He got really popular. And one of the categories was comic book movies. And I took pictures of this. Was the final thing was, or not comic movies, but comic books. That was the final Jeopardy question. And this dude already amassed like $30,000 just on the regular questions. It was incredible. He fucking destroyed the other people. And I can't remember exactly the question right now, but it was like 1941 to 1970, something like that, 79 or whatever. This was a series of comic books or something like that are in like the Smithsonian or something like that. Anyway, so everybody, instead of saying the series of comics, which is the correct answer, the other two people just put Superman, because oldest comic book, mainstream comic book, and that was wrong. And this fuck nut, the guy that's supposed to be the really smart motherfucker, and the years were 1941 to like 1970. He put Captain Marvel as a fucking answer.
Oh.
Like, wasn't even a character until like I'm pretty sure like the 60s or 70s. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he bet $20,000 on that.
Oh, that hurts.
And my girlfriend's like, well, he didn't know because as soon as you see the topic, you have to guess.
Well, don't bet $20,000 fucking dollars.
But my assumption is that if he's betting $20,000 on comic books, he should understand comic books.
Exactly.
But he put Captain Marvel as a fucking answer to a question. Once it was a series. It was like Action Comics or Cool or Classic Comics or something like that. Yeah. That's what it's a series. It was titled a series, not a character. And he was so wrong. At least the other ones had a character that was in that era. He had Captain Marvel. I'm going to post it. I took pictures of it. It was just fucking stupid. And he bet $20,000, and that's what that motherfucker gets for fucking saying something so stupid.
for playing Captain Marvel. So a different topic. Tobak, back at it, said, I really enjoy Hobbs and Shaw. Matt and I did too. For a turn your brain off, stupid, a motorcycle that goes apart to slide underneath a semi truck and then comes back together. It was just out there. It was ridiculous.
A go-kart like blows up and destroys the whole complex.
Right? Yeah.
Thing is like a little go-kart looking thing, and it just blows up this silo. Everything comes crashing down. What the fuck was in that go-kart? It was like TNT or C4 or something. It was insane.
For how ridiculous it was, I enjoyed it. It worked.
Also, I see the question you see there from DT Films about the Suicide Squad thing. I did see something recently. At least Gunn's having fun with it, and he's kind of did that Scrabble thing of King Shark or whatever. Had like Harley, and he was adding names to the Scrabble thing of and it had Harley, and then coming down was King S, and the A of Harley is going to fill out Shark and stuff. So if he keeps posting stuff like that, I find that fun. That's just kind of some cool shit and stuff like that. I just don't know if.
What a career changer for that dude who gets fired from Disney,
gets brought back.
Yeah. Then DC is like, oh well, we'll take you here, do Suicide Squad. Then all of a sudden, hey, wait, just kidding. Can you please finish Guardians of the Galaxy 3? So now he's got both. So that actually worked out completely in his favor.
Apparently, some of the reports anyway he was never even really fired. It was more a publicity stunt.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
But Hardboiled Entertainment here, yes, actually we will do this. I forgot about this, but he's asked maybe you guys could do a live commentary on the Black Suit Edition. Yes, we will. Whenever he releases it, we will definitely
be fucking awesome.
Definitely do a live commentary on that bad boy. Yeah, for sure on that one. That's been in the back of my head. It's something we're definitely going to do. I wasn't sure if we were going to do a commentary or just like a breakdown of it, but I think a commentary would be better. Everybody just watching this awesome fan edit done by Chris Dawson, I believe his name is. I really don't want to say his name incorrectly, but right now I'm really brain dead. So
back on the Boys Men in Tights podcast, Homelander is what critics and bloggers pretended that Superman was in Man of Steel. Absolutely. I started seeing that a lot of it. Yeah. They completely thought that he was just, oh, fuck it, I don't really care who dies. And, you know, kind of very similar to Homelander. And that was the extreme. As Matt said, that's the satire of Man of Steel almost, of like, oh, this is what people expected. And when they argue that, you know, Superman let all these people die, that's what they're picturing in their head.
Yeah.
And it's just
Shadow Vessel Homelander can't lift in the air. He can, but what he's saying, he needs to push up. See, that's what makes that moment so fucking great. Is it's totally shitting on Superman Returns, and that's what makes it so fucking great.
It is,
and because he can't lift the damn plane, or he'll
just lift the plane using what? Like he's frustrated. Like what am I supposed to do?
Just up. You lift up.
Exactly. Get underneath that's what it. You know,
that's what makes that so great.
He's just a lazy fuck. He didn't care.
Somebody hated Hobbs and Shaw. So much.
No, that's fine.
Maybe it's because it's right after John Wick and Once Upon a Time. A super manufactured charm of a PG-10 action sequence didn't hit the spot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you compare it to those two, yeah, you're definitely looking at an inferior film for sure. I don't know. Maybe it's just the charm of The Rock, and we're just kind of like...
That could be, because we also really enjoyed Baywatch, which was...
Yeah, and like nobody enjoyed Baywatch.
Yeah, for that year... it was the turn your brain off. It's completely stupid. It's intentionally way over the top. And maybe that's kind of become Rock's forte. You know, you look at some of these over the top films, and I had not seen the latest Jumanji until just recently, watched it with my kids. And that's another pretty good example of way different from the original Jumanji, but it's the charm of The Rock and over the top, plus Kevin Hart, you get in there, it makes it work. And then I'm sure people have seen this by now, I would hope, with Hobbs and Shaw. You get the two extra awesome cameos. It sounds like they're going to maybe utilize them in future installments of kind of this branch of the Fast and Furious films. But I thought the addition of Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart to Hobbs and Shaw were fucking perfect and a fantastic surprise. The spoilers.
Good Hardboiled Entertainment here, as I was probably telling the Jeopardy story. He answers it. Action Comics. I can't believe I have let modern day shit destroy me. And Hardboiled is so right. Probably when he said Captain Marvel, he meant the original Shazam. And I have let modern day Marvel MCU bullshit destroy me. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, potentially.
Thank you, Hardboiled. It's still
potentially.
Yeah, that's better. Obviously, that is much better.
That's a little far fetched, because unless you're a hardcore comic book fan, which maybe he is, and maybe that's why he's like, oh, you know, the original Captain Marvel. But unless you're a hardcore comic book fan, you're not going to know that Shazam was Captain Marvel at one point.
Oh yeah. So some of these questions, how about you do a live commentary on the Black Suit Edition? Definitely, guys.
A wrestling question. Halo 2, Red versus Blue. Did you guys watch NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam yet? I did. I was a little bit behind. I did watch SummerSlam live. Nothing. I don't know. Wrestling's in a weird predicament right now. I'm curious where a lot of it goes. This is kind of a side tangent for those wrestling fans, but I haven't seen a huge difference in the product, in the WWE product, with having Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman kind of in behind the scenes.
But Eric,
Maybe
real quick, I just want to jump in. Eric Bischoff, though, was never going to be a creative consultant. If anybody listens to, when I kept seeing that 83 weeks, if you listen to 83 weeks, he's never, ever said that he was like really great creative. And they weren't going to bring him in for creative. And you could tell that over the time, he's been a producer. This is what he does. He's a fucking producer of television. And when they're talking about that FS1 deal and stuff like that, the Fox deal and stuff like that, I already guessed just from the way he talked about certain things that, boom, that's what his role is going to be. It was never going to be a creative thing. Now, Paul Heyman's a different story.
Yeah, well, he did talk about did some things with WCW that were more creative,
Yeah.
and I think that's where a lot of people.
But I don't think they're going to
jump to
hire
that.
him for creative, for a creative position. It was
Unfortunately,
obviously for his TV expertise.
Yeah, and then that's why Bruce Pritchard is back with WWE as well, because he has that producer type. But it's unfortunate because I let my brain kind of run away of like, okay, they are trying to actually make their product better, compete with AEW, and well, vice versa, to maybe change a little bit. And one of the Raws recently that I watched had a lot of matches, so it seemed like maybe they're trying to focus more on in-ring product. But I just have not seen the overall feel of it change. They had some brief things with at one point when they introduced the 24/7 title. Mick Foley also said the third hour of Raw is going to be more TV 14-esque. So I was like, oh, sweet. That kind of went away. Lacey Evans, they had a shot of her ass, which was intentional. It was intentional. The way that she kind of bent over, swung her ass. It said something, I can't remember, but it was intentional. And so
I tried to read the words.
Well, I just said I couldn't remember what it said because obviously I was distracted by something else. But there are small things that are happening that kind of lead you to go, okay, they are trying to change a little bit. I don't think we're going to get the Attitude Era again, but I want it to change. And then there was rumors about SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar, possibly the Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins match, possibly getting color, things like that. So the things that I've been hearing on the internet, it makes me intrigued by what WWE could potentially be doing, but then I haven't seen any difference. They brought back the OC, which is the club, and I thought, okay, maybe we're gonna get Finn Balor, things like that, and nothing. And it's just it's been very lackluster, and it's not all coming together. So who knows? They've kind of denied the AEW's making an imprint. I hope that they do, because I hope that eventually the product starts to change. Maybe they make it a little bit more competitive, a little more intriguing. But I actually thought TakeOver was one of the more lackluster takeovers that we've had. Just kind of my opinion.
All I know about SummerSlam is that I had a guy at my work, a friend at work, who doesn't really follow wrestling at all anymore. He's definitely a 90s guy when it comes to wrestling, and he really likes Goldberg from WCW. And he's like, hey, did you see that match between Goldberg and that German guy named Ziegler?
That part was actually fucking funny.
That was I saw that match, and that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but his reaction to it made it way better than the whole show. But oh shit. Oh, one guy asked if we were interested in the new Watchmen series that's going to be on HBO. The one trailer I saw, not so much. I don't know. It's a really weird trailer. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it reminded me a lot of the Sons of Batman, but it'd be the Sons of Rorschach, I guess. I guess there's gonna be like a group of people that are gonna just idolize Rorschach.
Supposed to be more modern, which I think is kind of a cool concept.
And then but it really has nothing to do with the Watchmen, really, because it's I guess Jeremy Irons is gonna be playing Ozymandias or something like that. So that's, I guess he's in it for the most part, but that's kind of quite a jump. I'm curious what year it's in. I'll definitely watch it, but the trailer was very uneventful, very, very uneventful. They definitely need to buffer up that trailer and kind of, show off some other things.
Yeah.
Triton here, Comic Movie Marks. You hope the release Junkie XL score alongside the Snyder Cut. I mean, yeah,
they have to. They really have to. There's no way they can. That is a part of the Snyder Cut, and I wouldn't accept anything less.
Do you think Joe Manganiello was that masked soldier in the BVS Nightmare by Shadow Vessel? How would you know it was Joe Manganiello if he was masked?
I don't know. Manganiello is kind of a name, so I think that would be a lot to.
I don't know. They do a lot of things. Like remember in Star Wars, what's his face? The last Bond, the Bond guy. He was apparently a stormtrooper, and
Oh,
they had him
really?
all. What is his name?
Not Pierce Brosnan, the guy after
No,
him.
the Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he was in the Star Wars Force Awakens, and he's the one that lets Rey loose when she first learns her powers. Apparently that was him. So they're willing to cover up names sometimes, and sometimes these actors just I think are around and they're like, hey, let's just fucking do it. So I mean, does it mean more with Snyder though? Yeah, probably. I mean, it would mean a lot, and there's a lot of different comic iterations where Deathstroke is, I wouldn't say a good guy, but he's definitely on the other side of the fight for the most part a lot of the time. So maybe I'd have to look at it. Shadow Vessel.
Wonder Woman 84 will be awesome. This is from Stallone fan. More necessary than Thor Love and Thunder, or as I call it, Thor beating a dead horse. No kidding. Oh man, I'm intrigued by Wonder Woman 84. I really just want to know where it fits into everything. But yeah, I'm intrigued by it. Fucking Thor Love and Thunder. I don't know. Yeah, beating a dead horse, trying to milk that money cow as much as possible. I'm sure it'll hit $1 billion because it's gonna bring a bunch of laughs. So
honestly, the Marvel lineup for the movies, this might be the first comic book movies we don't go see. I don't know. I could give really no shits about Eternals, and I don't think I can handle another Taika Waititi Thor movie. I really don't know if I can.
I know we offended a lot of people with when we were butchering his name intentionally back when he was announced for the last Thor movie, and we offended a lot of people. A lot of people are fans of Taika, but I don't know. I feel like in terms of the MCU, it doesn't really matter what director you get. James Gunn, with what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, was different, and with the first one, and so I was excited with that, and it kind of changed for the most part. They doubled down on the comedy. Matt and I enjoyed the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but now they keep kind of going with that with a lot of their movies, and with Thor Ragnarok kind of playing in that same vein, made it a little frustrating as well. So I don't really see the point of bolstering up these different directors because it's not really their vision. They all kind of feel the same. They could have thrown in someone else and then done the same type of script. And this is just my opinion on the MCU in general, but they all are kind of there. They all blend together and feel the same. So you don't get really the director's taste and take and the way that certain things are shot. They are all pretty much the same. So I don't know. It's just kind of, yeah, but definitely Wonder Woman 84. Looking forward to that.
Okay. So Shadow Vessel says he sent us a Twitter DM about it. Okay. So we'll have to check that later, man. We'll definitely check that out later on. Yeah. Daniel Craig. Oh, he voiced it. He voiced the Stormtrooper. Okay. All right. Okay. So he voiced it. Okay. I thought he was actually in the costume for the most part. Did Junkie XL finish his score for the SC, or did he only compose the themes for each hero? From the information I have seen, I think it's I would say that he composed or he completed the score. He just never was given the opportunity to actually apply it to the movie. That's kind of where I'm at. And a lot of people have speculated some of the things in Alita Battle Angel are what was supposed to be in Justice League. So
some of the people who spliced some things together with that, I thought was pretty cool. It worked out well.
So yeah, I would definitely say, yeah, he finished it. Whether or not he's able to just jump back in and put it into the movie, I don't know.
Sloan fan, I'm looking forward to Black Widow, Doctor Strange 2, and is it Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
So that's the one that I'm curious where they go with the Mandarin, and I laugh every time at Matt's joke of How funny would that be if they just threw another curveball in there and it's not
Trevor
the
Slattery's cousin.
Yeah, exactly. But I think out of everything, that's kind of the most I'm curious of. Doctor Strange 2, not really. And then Black Widow, maybe because it's a prequel, but Captain Marvel, I was curious about because it's supposed to be set in the 90s and you don't really get a whole lot of the 90s. You get a little bit, but
well, it's forced like crazy too.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing about Doctor Strange, I think for us, is the first Doctor Strange kind of broke our hearts. I think that was the first real big meltdown that we had. I mean, we were already kind of falling apart on the MCU for the most part, but I feel like
supposed to be the savior, though.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the redemption one for us because we loved the Doctor Strange trailer so much. You know, the folding city obviously looked a lot like Inception.
Yeah.
And it looked like, oh my God, here's the movie where they're really just going to fucking let the weird shit fly. They got to, right? It's magic, it's sorcery, it's all kinds of weird shit now. And we really thought this was going to be the moment. And they phoned it in big. Yeah. And maybe on this one they'll do it. I don't know. I'm trying not to get excited for it because I was really excited for the first Doctor Strange. The trailers really did get to me, and so Doctor Strange is always kind of a sore spot for us.
Yeah, and especially some of the parts in Infinity War and Endgame with Doctor Strange are pretty cool, and like you get brief glimpses. I saw a lot of people that especially in Infinity War, they're like, oh, I really want to go back and watch Doctor Strange again, but that didn't make any sense to me. In terms of like those are two completely different Doctor Strange. You do get some, a small glimmer of what his potential is. So maybe they go that route. But yeah, as in terms of the actual, the first Doctor Strange movie, it's just so they phoned it in. They decided to go the complete comedy route, just like every other MCU movie, and it just didn't. It was frustrating, and that was one where we were a little misled. Maybe.
Our perception.
Exactly.
Our perception.
Yeah.
This is all us on this. Our perception of those trailers where we felt misled.
Yeah.
They lied to us. Stallone fan, Morbius sounds interesting to me. A lot of the Sony movies for the most part will always be interesting to me because of like the shit of the bottom of the basket they are when it comes to comic movies. It is going to be kind of interesting. Fury of Firestorm, you're going to eat lightning and crap love and thunder. Get the chicken, Rock. Get the chicken. Hard-boiled entertainment. Zach questioned the 165, but he's like the 170. It fits what IMDb. It was Zack Snyder left 2 hours and 50 minutes for the theatrical cut. Maybe, but you got to remember if you listen to the podcast with Hughes, he says it's an estimate runtime. The person that gave him the information, Jay Oliva, it was a estimate. It wasn't an exact runtime. So maybe it is 2 hours and 50 minutes. Maybe it's 3 hours dead on. Maybe it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. But it was just a rough idea, probably not including credits and a lot of other shit. And also, it was just 15 to 17 minutes worth of work needs to be done, which is probably more than likely the ending of the movie. Because if you've noticed, we haven't seen a lot of the end of the movie, and when we have, it's previs. So it's kind of telling. So I don't know if Zach liked this. The IMDb thing people were talking about to me was a complete joke. It was a question. It was just a thing that was going around at the time between John Berg and Zack Snyder. And he kind of made a joke about previewing it to the IMDb board or whatever Zach did. And then there was a thing about 170. So whether or not that's a theatrical run or not, who the hell knows?
I'm assuming, I don't know if one of us are like coughing, clearing our throats, but Shadow Vessel put lozenge. Laugh out loud.
I think I'm kind of sniffing because I'm just like. You're probably listening on headphones. What the hell are you listening to this on headphones?
Yeah, right. Shane, what's your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Who did that?
That was Umesh Singh.
Well, you gotta answer the question, motherfucker. Are you dead? Oh no! Did Shane freeze out?
With that, you both.
Oh,
are we back?
There. Okay, there you go.
That was weird.
All right, you were like stuck smiling. You're like,
on my beautiful smile. I could hear you, but then it like buffered for a second. We lost it.
Okay. So answer the question.
Fucking YouTube. So honestly, if you really want the honest answer, I like aspects of Homecoming. Tom Holland, decent. My favorite actual Spider-Man would be Andrew Garfield. Yeah, the movie surrounding him, not that great. Maybe him as Peter Parker, not that great, but as actual Spider-Man and what they were trying to do with that series, I really like Andrew Garfield. And in terms of acting ability, to me, way better than Tobey Maguire and better than Tom Holland as well. Even though Tom Holland does have some good acting around what is the MCU Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield just fucking hits it out of the park every time. So in terms of favorite Spider-Man, there you go, Andrew Garfield.
Somebody Addy 333. Are you guys gonna see Joker? Yes. If you've
absolutely
been following it. I am getting a little weary though, because so many like bloggers and stuff are talking about how great this movie is and all this other shit, and I rarely agree with them on anything. So a lot of these critics and stuff like that are talking about like it's great, Academy Award winning, Joaquin Phoenix is going to get one. And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but then I keep seeing more and more and more people like really, kind of falling over it, like loving it, and I'm like, oh shit, that's not good.
It's sad that that's a red flag, and like a lot of the stuff in terms of the awards that Joaquin could possibly win, like that. It's sad that you kind of are skeptical of if people are talking this good about it, it's probably not that good. But we'll see. Definitely stoked for it.
Cryptic V here. Hey guys, love your videos. Good to see you both back on YouTube again. Yeah, again, it's been a hectic 3 weeks for me in particular, and I'm Shane again. He's usually always busy, and we have videos in the can. We have a lot of things planned. We have a boys one that's recorded. We are going to talk a little bit about Disney box office and how it's controlling the market. We want to do another one with Brightburn, a comparison between Brightburn and Man of Steel. We still have our Snyder Myths episode as well. A lot of things we want to do, but geez, man, the real life stuff is always a pain in the ass.
Yes, time starts to slip away. I'm waiting for both my kids are teenagers, my oldest, and then I have a 5-year-old. I'm waiting for the teenagers just to kind of, be a recluse and go into their bedroom and be like, oh wait, I have 2 other kids, but yeah,
I just don't have to see them.
Such is life. Yep, exactly. And then maybe time will change a little bit. But
Fury Firestorm, because I think you froze Shane. I thought Shane was having a stroke.
One day.
I did too, because he was like,
sure will.
like just stuck in his spot.
Dang.
Hashtag rest in peace, Shane.
As my kids would say, can I get a rip in the chat? That's probably, actually, I blame them. That's probably them just bogging down my fucking internet with their stupid Fortnite. I'm sure it's a Saturday. I'm sure that's exactly what's happening.
Liz, hey guys, long time no see. Yes, we are back, and that is the purpose of the stream. We need to post content live stream. What else we got here?
My friend said Brightburn sucked. Matt and I were on different sides here. We've actually talked about doing another like Brightburn like comparison video. Haven't gotten around to that, so that's also part of our plans. But I was pretty disappointed in that, and I think and I said this kind of in our review of it, that I went in thinking it was going to be one thing, and it turned out to be something else. And so maybe it's my fault for being disappointed in it. But there's also a lot of horror movie tropes, and I didn't really care for that either. So it depends.
I rewatched it. I don't want to say it doesn't hold up very well in the second viewing. Maybe I was more mesmerized by it in the second one compared to the first one. First one, it kind of just blows by. Brightburn is, if you, I think, well, I guess Shane, he has, but if you've watched Man of Steel about 103 times, you'll kind of see a lot of these homages, just simple things, the simple things, the mailbox, there's the words that are used in certain particular areas, the moments, it's kind of a reverse thing on certain moments and stuff like that. So, but they just kind of, they took the short, easy route on how to make them evil, and I think that's always going to be the biggest issue. They took the easiest route, and they didn't want to build a complex character. They kind of just wanted to like, hey, let's just find an easy way to switch him, and so that way he starts fucking people up.
I think that was my biggest frustration, is the fact that it was the ship that changed him,
Spoiler.
and instead of instead of it being like, you know, in him, I guess. I thought that would have been cooler. And then also the fact, this is another spoiler, and it still bugs me to this day. What a missed opportunity to have the truck go right into the fucking concrete and have the pose like Superman in Action Comics 1. No,
Yeah.
he picks damn it. Like that so frustrates the shit out of me.
Fury Firestorm, Shane was frozen for 40 seconds. So I guess Shane's part of the 40 club. So would you say Brightburn doesn't burn very bright? Wow. Why did I laugh at that?
You are pretty out of it.
No, it does not burn very bright. I don't know. It's definitely. Oh yeah, even someone did it. Oh, Men in Tights podcast. But wow, he typed that out. That's very good, man.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I watched the Brightburn trailer. Some comments were saying, "Damn, damn it, Barry, you messed the timeline." Oh, okay. I love the Instagram ads for Brightburn, because at the very end of the movie they play this song. I don't even know who the woman singer is in this because I'm so out of touch. But on shit, but it was like called "I'm a Bad Guy," and that's the song at the end of the movie. Well, they played that during this trailer that on Instagram that pretty much shows every major thing that happens in the movie.
Yeah, so just watch that trailer.
In the Instagram
Firestorm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just like in a minute they played that song in the background, and all the comments like, this was a fun movie until you played that gay song. And everybody's just like, half the comments were like gay, 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 gay. And it was just busting me up. It was just, it's in the movie. And like, it's just like, yeah, I really like this movie until you played that terrible song over it. And I'm like, it's in the movie. The song is in the movie. I don't think anybody even freaking realized it. It was just funny to me.
Lex Luthor would have a field day in the Brightburn universe.
Oh yeah.
No.
It's an interesting universe. It's an interesting time with comic book movies. Like, okay, Brightburn was kind of like it didn't go to the depths that we would like. But then you look at like The Boys, and you're just getting this, like, it reminds me a lot of the 90s, where we had all these like random superheroes that, because people didn't want to pay royalties.
Right.
So we had Meteor Man and the Phantom.
Yep, Phantom, Blank Man, one of my fucking favorites.
So even though I know The Boys is a comic series, but now we're getting like all these kind of oddball fucking characters and stuff, and we're getting these portrayals on the superhero genre now. It's kind of, I don't know, I find it fascinating that we're at this point now where pretty much the MCU has diluted the superhero genre as it is. Really,
and it is cool to see different movies and things like that come out, and obviously TV shows. To that same point, I think if you were to have Homelander as a kid and how he changed to kind of become the person that he is today, and that was your Brightburn-esque movie, then maybe I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. So I think that's a good way to put it.
They missed the character moment. They really did. They missed the character moment to make him evil for the most part. And as Shane already spoiled, it was the ship. It was the ship. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, it's just like that. The ship made him evil and told him what to say. It was just this weird shit. So that's the problem.
Did you guys like Superman Red Sun? If so, would you want to see an animated version? I know I want to. Yes, absolutely. Again, another just different take on that character. Fucking fantastic. I don't know if they'll ever
nowadays. Yeah, especially for nowadays.
Yeah,
I'd be interested.
I don't know if they would ever do an animated version, but that'd be pretty fucking cool. Thank God we got Ant-Man.
Fury is on a fire. Anyway, all right. I tried. I got to go to later. Cryptic V. Yeah, and yeah, we have seen The Boys. You forgot to say hi, but if you watch The Boys, will you please do a review on it or analysis? Yeah, definitely. We have it already recorded. It's just sitting on my computer right now. The audio is for this thing. It's been sitting there for about a week, and it's just been so chaotic. And that's why we're doing this live stream right now, just to put content on there, because we did have a couple people DMing us and stuff like that, just saying, hey, are you guys alive? Are you coming back? And we just did not realize until like yesterday that it was literally 2 weeks since we posted the Hobbs and Shaw review. Like, we just had no contact for like 2 weeks. And that was just so fast. I did not even realize it until yesterday. So this is kind of the point of the live stream, just taking some time to talk to you guys and hopefully bring some content to the channel.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, bye. No, just kidding.
So I think we're getting close to wrapping this up, but
Yeah.
jump in and talk about Glass real quick. Triton said, "Am I the only one who is fully satisfied with the ending to Glass?" I've actually unfortunately only seen it once. So I need to watch that again. I left kind of wanting a little bit more. It went a different direction than I was hoping for. So I definitely have to watch that one again. I'm going to give it another chance. But I wasn't blown away, like I was with the other two films and that.
The two things
trilogy.
I remember, again, I've only seen it once with Shane, and the only thing I didn't like, I didn't care too much for the secret organization, and I didn't care too much for, spoiler, the way David Dunn died in a puddle. You know, that
Yeah.
I know water is his weakness, but he was just in he was in a tank, and he was able to do a lot better than a puddle. I don't know. So that kind of did take a little bit of the kick away. So Fury of Firestorm, did you guys join the Spartans on Twitter? Honestly, I don't even know who that is. I keep hearing this now about Spartans and stuff like that, and I have no idea who is in this group or who.
We know what the group is, but we don't really know who's a part of it necessarily.
I mean,
Right.
I've heard of the group.
Yes.
But I heard of them, and
so no.
So yes, we are partners.
we actually run it. No,
Yeah.
We're the Poochie of this whole Snyder
Remember
group.
that,
So yeah, we would just get a random invite just down the road. Yeah, might as well. Let's see. We showed up to SnyderCon and people were like, "Fuck, they're here, damn," because we're just walking in. What's up, guys?
Oh, hey, you're the ones that said if you're the two idiots that are going to be wearing the comic movie NARS shirt. That's why one guy introduced himself to us. You're the two idiots that are wearing comic movie
we are here. Day one.
So, yeah, yeah, it's Firefield's not sure either. Yeah, it's so Poochie the Rockin' Dog. Yeah, see, that's what it is, Minutize Podcast. We are Poochie the Rockin' Dog.
Yep.
And eventually when all this, we're gonna I must go back to my home planet. And so
Hardboiled Entertainment with J.J. Abrams coming in, his old Superman flyby project. Is there hope for a Man of Steel 2? He had another part. Amy Adams cast as Lois Lane and Henry Cavill as a finalist for Clark. I fucking hope so. And I'd be okay with J.J. Abrams doing a follow-up to Man of Steel 1 with Man of Steel 2. Really, fanboy in me wants Snyder to kind of pick up, especially after if we get the Snyder Cut and you kind of see the whole story arc with Man of Steel. If you can kind of pick that up and exactly where he left off, that would be the ideal situation for me. But J.J. Abrams, yeah, I want something, and I don't want it to be Joss Whedon or anything or anything that he was attempting to do in Justice League. I don't want any of that. So I would be okay with J.J. Abrams. And I know Henry Cavill has actually talked about he really wants to still talk about about like more details in with the character and actually delve into how it affects him and his powers and things like that. So I thought it was kind of cool for Cavill to give the somewhat political answer, but also talk about like, yeah, there's still more that we can do with this character and kind of what he wants to venture in. So hopefully they keep Cavill casted as Superman as well, because right now that guy's getting swooped up all over the place.
Frank in the fandom put hashtag bring back Snyder. The real quick, of course, Shane and I would love that if he came back for a Man of Steel 2 or whatever he would want to do. But at the same time, I think he's just done with big studios. And I don't think he wants to deal with their bullshit. It's not going to change anything if he comes back. It's kind of like that thing I've never understood where, like, if a guy, and I'm not saying this is what Snyder's doing, but like a person that gets fired, they sue the company to get their job back. And then they come back, they win or something like that, and they come back. It's like, why would you want that job back? Because now you're in an area where people just you ran them through legally. Like, they don't want you there. You're in a job now where people are not going to like you, and they don't want you there. And the thing with WB is, I'm not saying the new regime would be like that for him, but he just had a toxic environment. A lot of them are around him. A lot of people did some things, and it's a shitty environment. Same thing with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Either one of those guys, Ben Affleck seems to be doing so much better. He's on Netflix with Triple Frontier. He did that. He's doing his own shit. He seems a lot happier now, a lot happier. And Snyder, all those images from Army of the Dead, every single one of them, he looks happy. Man. He's just back doing what he does best. He's on the ground. He's out in the middle of the New Mexico desert
creating art.
Yeah, creating art. He's taking shits in the New Mexico desert and answering people's Vero questions. It's fascinating. And he's still doing his thing, and I think that's just what he loves, and that's why he's on Netflix. And I just don't think WB could ever be that place for him like that again. I don't know. It's really hard. Maybe down the road, maybe he can come back.
Yeah.
In some sense, and maybe they could do some kind of play on things or something like that. I don't know, but as of now, I just don't think he even wants to deal with that shit. Same thing with Affleck. Probably same thing with a lot of the other guys too. I mean, Cavill's getting jerked around either way. So, I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, I'm sure he wants to make another Superman movie, but at the same time, you're hearing all that stuff like going on with Ezra Miller and Flash. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are getting jerked around, and they're just trying to make a living and make a movie. And WB is, you can't. There's nothing more we could say about WB that hasn't already been said. So, I think that's going to wrap it up. We did about an hour and 16. The clock just turned over when I was about to say something. Shane is about 40-second delay, I think, because of his seizure. So maybe it'd be a little different for him. But thanks again, guys, for joining us on the stream. I think it got up to like 45 at one point, which is just shocking sometimes with this little tiny channel.
Yeah.
There's actually people that want to listen to us.
And we appreciate your patience as well. And, still people DMing us and, asking, hey, when are you going to do this? We still have a lot of plans. It's just coordinating it. And now we're getting into kind of the busy time for and with the fall. So we're going to do what we can, but appreciate your patience. We might try to incorporate more things like this. It's just easier in terms of editing and things like that. So
there's no editing.
Exactly. Sorry for you.
Maybe we could steal Dave the Film Junkie's idea. Instead, maybe we can go like Monday or Friday Night Wars. And we'll do like,
right.
And we can go side it. He does his vodka stream. We could do like our sex on the beach stream,
or
something like that. we could do stuff like that, and we could have a dueling war. Who did
exactly?
So
on that note,
thanks again, guys. Thanks for joining us for this live stream. Thank you to anybody that joined us for this fucking rambling. We had no content plan for this. Nothing.
Nothing. And you guys made it happen.
Shane asked me, like, what are we going to talk about? And I said, fuck if I know. Because we want to make videos for a lot of this stuff, and we want to keep it separate. And and we didn't want to give too much out. But, man, it was... it worked in the end, and we made a podcast out of it. And I said, this one, I think we'll try to post this one to SoundCloud, right, Shane?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have room.
Let's fucking do it.
We can.
I don't know what the monthly max is, so we'll push it.
So this might be on SoundCloud. So you might be able to hear it on SoundCloud. I'll say that again. SoundCloud. Common Movie Marks. In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, and good night.
Oh, damn it. There we go.
Knock it off.